Hi, and welcome back to Trak. Today, we're going to talk to you about managing linked companies or subcontractor companies within your Trak account. Now, Trak's got this great ability to have your own Trak system, but invite other companies to join your system as well. Now, lots of people don't have employees. They've just got lots of contractors who work for them every day. Lots of people like to keep them at arm's reach. In the Trak platform, you can obviously set up as many users as you want on your account, which is fine. But some businesses want their contractors to be set up as a separate entity that they are sharing information to. And that's what we're going to focus on today. Under your name is where we manage all the people in our business, and this is where we set up and structure our subcontractors. In the Trak platform, you can see your subcontractors in the middle of the page here. You've got all of your subcontractors who are linked. You can see the details associated to them. To invite a contractor to join, there are two ways to do this. Number one, if they have a Trak account already, you can invite a company to join. You can put in their email address and you can choose the services that they provide. These services are really important because they are linked to job types and they are also linked to licenses and tickets. If you want to know more about compliance documents and licenses and tickets, please look at our other tutorial videos associated to those because that will tie all this together for you as well. Now, when we are structuring our company to invite them, they will then be able to accept an invite. If you know that they don't have a Trak account, they've never heard of it, you want to set it up on their behalf and structure it for them, you can. You can create your own contractor. Nice and simple, first name, last name, company name, email, a few bits and pieces. It's not all mandatory. It's up to you what you put in here. But you'll notice a couple of things. The industry is really important. Okay. You'll also notice that you've got your subcontractor information at the bottom here. Now, if you have lots of contractors and you want to make sure that certain contractors are allocated to certain jobs, you can start putting in things like ranges, postcodes that they might service, the services that they provide. This will help filter out contractors in your account so that only the right ones show. Okay. You can also choose what they see in your Trak account. So at the moment, we've got a basic version here that you can drop in, which means that they're not seeing all the functionality in Trak. They're seeing a restricted level of it available to your team. Obviously, if you're setting this up from scratch, you might want to also add them as a supplier so you can start issuing them purchase orders and details through the platform. The structure of your contractor is entirely up to you, what you put in here, but this will help you set them up in the system. Now, when we've got a contractor set up, we know what services they're going to provide. The next thing we need to think about is what do we want contractors to do on our accounts? What do we want them to see and manage? And that is, once again, set up under your name, company settings and subcontractor settings. Now, lots of businesses have got lots of different relationships with their contractors. If you are setting up franchises or you're setting up very close contractors, you might want them to be able to do a lot of things. If you have got a very kind of distant relationship with contractors, you might not want them to have access to much. It is up to you. So, for example, every time you add a file to a job, do you want it to share to a contractor? Every time you add a note to a job, do you want it to share to a contractor? Do you want to hide the job description and the client? Do you want to use yourself as the client? Do you want to be able to allow contractors to fill out your safe work method statements? Do you want to see when they sign in and out of the job so that they GPS stamp on and GPS stamp off and you know that they are on the site? Do you want to be able to hide or show information? This is all customizable to you. Then you've got simple things like who is my default contractor I want to share everything to, and I want it to be automatically linked to them by default. What do I want my contractors to be able to modify in my Trak account? So this one here is a big one. In a lot of businesses, all they want the contractor to be able to modify is the status of the job. Is it done or not? Job complete, job not complete, issue raised, something similar. But other businesses may want them to have full overview. So they might just give them a lead and say, hey, here's an opportunity to quote this job. You go and put in all the details. So they might want to update and change the jobs on your calendar. They might want to update the job name or the address or the job description. It's up to you what you allow them to do. Then we've got some simple information here around when we're inviting companies to join, whether you're sending them an invite or whether you're creating them automatically. You might want to have some information here. Lots of our businesses who have lots of contractors have put together videos around how their contractors need to use the platform, how they do inductions, how they do training, and they've linked it all to these messages that come into the system. This is a great way for you to be able to do it as well. If you need help in any of this, please let us know. Now, when you've got a job in Trak, you might want to allocate that job to a contractor. So you've created the job, it's in the system, and you know, I'm going to get one of my contractor companies to do this job. There are a few ways that you can allocate a contractor. Number one, if you edit a job detail, you can see that you can edit the job here, and there's the ability to add a subcontractor at this stage. Okay, you can have a drop down of contractors, or you can select the search tab and it will pick up ones based on postcode or regions or details, and you can select them and add them to the job. Okay, that is one way of being able to do it. This will share the job. If you've got a start and end date in your calendar, it will book it on your calendar for them. Okay, it will pre-populate everything, notify them, and away you go. Okay. The other way that you can do your allocation is in the middle of the page here where you assign a contractor. Nice and simple. You can just select the contractor and it will share the job with them. Now, for those businesses that have got lots of jobs set up and they're showing them on their job calendar, this is also the place that you can put them on there. So for example, I can see that I've got this job coming up. It's approved. I can see the details of it. I might now want to allocate that to my contractor. So then it will automatically put that job onto his calendar. It will notify him. He'll be able to see the status and details. I can now see that this job has been allocated to Giggle Contracting. This is what our job calendar is for. This is so you can see your forward planning of work, what is allocated, what is not, what status it's in. This is for our subcontractor bookings. The job calendar is forward planning and contractor bookings, whereas your user calendar is what your day-to-day staff are doing in a day, week, or month format. Your job calendar is the same in a day, week, or month format around what jobs are coming up, who's allocated to what, and then you'll be able to see the details associated with it. If you need to move or edit them, obviously you can move and edit them on your calendar, you can change the status, and you can manage it. Your contractor has this same functionality on his end. So when you share a job with him, he might need to change the status to contractor approved or accepted or whatever it is that you want. So you can clearly see from your calendar when the status change comes that you'll be able to see an update in the status and details. You'll be able to see the color changes so you know exactly where the jobs are up to. So in your Trak account, you can manage everything in the system. Now, when we set up our Trak account, when we share our Trak account in the system, okay, you will be able to see that you've got your contractors allocated by this little anchor in the corner. Okay, so that tells you that your job has been allocated to a contractor. You'll also be able to see in the middle of the page your subcontractor details. You'll be able to see it in your jobs tab. When you look at your jobs tab, you will be able to see what jobs have been allocated to a contractor simply by either filtering for the contractors or by managing your details where you'll be able to see your jobs by the linked icon. That tells you that your job has been allocated and who it is allocated to. You choose what your contractors do in the field, but you also choose to give them access to your templates. So in the Trak platform, if you are creating templates like safe work method statements, you can choose that contractor may have access to your safety so that they can fill out a safe work method statement before doing work on your site. Or it might be that you've got a report that you want them to do. It might be a completion report. It might be a safety audit. It might be something like that. When you are creating a report in the Trak platform as well, you will then be able to see that they've got access to fill out reports as well. You can choose whether they're available to contractors or not available to contractors. This means that when you share the job, those same reports and those safety items will be available on their jobs. They can click on them and fill them out in the field. When they are completed, they will save back into your job and manage your system. So communication with contractors is critical. You can set up your contractors, you can allocate them to a job, and you can give them access to your templates. Obviously, the other thing that you can give them access to in the system is also documentation. So if you want them to be able to see files or folders, you can make folders available to a contractor. So whether you are sharing the contents of a folder with linked companies and subjobs, or whether you've got an individual file that you want them to be able to see, you can select the three dots on the right and you can give your contractor access to that particular file or folder. This is really important to make sure that your contractors are seeing the plans or jobs or colors or whatever is critical to them, but they're not seeing any of your financial information that you want them not to have access to. It's entirely up to you. That is the same if I'm writing a note on a job. If I want to write a note to the job, please confirm all good to go. I can then choose that I want to share that with the contractor and I want to notify them. Okay, I can then add that note to the job, and they will be able to see that note, and it will notify them on their end, and they will then be able to reply back. This means that you have got a fully seamless, integrated system that allows you to communicate with your contractor in the field. If you've got any questions or queries in regards to managing your contractors, allocating jobs to contractors, setting up what they can see and what they can't see, and how you can communicate, please reach out to our team. This is such a great feature for those businesses who are always following up on their contractors. Are they safe? Are they doing things properly? Are they putting in things quality to suit your business? This allows you to manage them without having to be on site. You can reach out with any questions, contact@trak.co. You can also reach out through our support desk in the bottom right-hand corner. We look forward to your feedback on this feature. Thanks, guys.